Well, Joe will find out.
They can hear us, Joe.
5, 4,
So
3,
are we live?
2, 1.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay.
I think we lost all our audience.
Please
by now.
rise and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Kay, could you call the roll, please?
Harold,
Here.
Hollenbaugh,
Here.
Leontis,
Present.
Phipps,
Here.
Robinette,
Here.
Roland, here, Zanfordino.
Here.
Okay. The minutes from our April 20th meeting were distributed prior to this meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? All right.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the minutes for the meeting held April 20th, 2020.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, same sign. Okay. Kay, do we have correspondence this evening?
Yes, I have 2 items tonight. A listing of budget transfers were distributed to you prior to the meeting for your approval for the month of May.
Is there a motion to approve the budget transfers?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Okay, and then I also received from Welcome BG a piece of correspondence that they would like to have me read. I've also made copies of it for you, and you'll have it in front of your spot. It says, council members, Welcome BG is bringing an update on some of what we've accomplished since City Council signed Resolution 3662 back in 2017 and the task force recommendations in 2018. Welcome BG officially launched in September 2019 and housed at 130 South Main Street, Four Corners, with Moja Kamala as part-time coordinator. WBG is governed by a steering committee that includes immigrants and people of diverse cultures and sectors. And then there's a section there listing all the names of the people on the steering committee. WBG's focus is developing a community that is welcoming and safe for immigrants and diverse populations. WBG sees immigrants as an asset for economic growth and community vitality. Its immigrant integration activities focus on 2 major areas. 1, workforce and economic development workshops on hiring immigrants and international students, understanding immigration processes, disseminate data reflecting the immigrant contribution to the economy, talent retention by matching workers to work-ready immigrants or international students, and 2, living and thriving language access, cultural competency, access to housing, and other social services. During this time of COVID-19, we have focused on the international students that are in our community who could not go back home for various reasons. We're in touch with the Executive Director of International Programs, Dr. Marcia Salazar, should our services be needed. We have also checked in with immigrant-owned businesses and provided information for available loans through the BG Economic Development Foundation. Predominantly, we have been using our Facebook page to post credible information about the virus, testing locations, stay-at-home orders, etc. The documents are translated in several languages to reach as many as possible in our community. WBG has conducted a lunch and learn for local employers, providing information on how to hire immigrants with the help of the immigration lawyer who walked them through types of visas and immigration laws. Our goal is to continue with many of these, including the community, as needed to provide education and change the narrative that immigrants are liabilities instead of contributing members in our town. Our working groups are focusing in branding WBG, form ambassador program, increase and build upon local partnerships, international student retention, and creating conditions for new Americans to be able to participate in the social and economic development of the city and provide easy access to systems and services. In the interest of time, we will keep this brief, but details and more WBG accomplishments, visit our Facebook page and our as of yet under construction website. We invite you to check out, like, and invite your friends to our Facebook page. We are grateful for your support and the mayor's whose goals align with WBG's mission. We have a lot of work ahead, mainly affordable housing issues, transportation, language access, cultural infusion in local community events, local region, state visibility, education, training in all sectors, signature cultural community event, mutual goals, and partnership with BGSU and commissioners, et cetera. Your continued support is invaluable as we collectively and intentionally work towards a diverse and culturally rich community where each person is valued, celebrated, and feels proud to call BG home. This is imperative and in everyone's interest for Welcome BG to continue and succeed, as it will have a bearing on WBGSU's success to attracting international students, faculty, and staff, and for companies to look at BG as a place to invest and bring their businesses to. Thank you, Mojabeng Kamala. And that's all I have for correspondence.
Okay, thank you very much. There are no special recognitions this evening. Did we receive any lobby visitations, Kay?
No.
Okay. That brings us to the introduction of new legislation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
I have a resolution from the Finance Committee seeking equitable distribution of coronavirus aid to local governments.
Mr. President,
Mr. Zanfordino.
we have two resolutions from the Community Improvement Committee. They are related. The first resolution is a resolution approving the petitions for renewal and the plan of services to be provided by the Bowling Green Central Business Special Improvement District Incorporated, approving the properties of the municipal corporation in said plan of services and approving the city of Bowling Green's cooperative cost share. We also have a resolution declaring the necessity to implement the plan of services adopted by the Bowling Green Central Business Special Improvement District Incorporated as approved in resolution number 3763 and declaring the necessity to levy a special assessment for the services set forth in said plan upon the lots and lands benefiting under the plan.
Okay. That brings us to official reports. Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see everybody. You too, Neocles and Rachel. I did want to speak very briefly about the additional distribution of HUD money that we received notification of recently. First of all, I would emphasize we've yet to receive these funds. We did receive notification, but we have yet to receive the funding. We are working very hard to try to determine how we can best get these funds into the hands quickly and in a beneficial way to low and moderate income people in our community. It's proving to be somewhat difficult to determine what is an allowable expenditure. It's an ongoing process. We have had one conference with an informal conference with HUD officials, and it's an ongoing conversation. We expect to receive new guidance soon, and we will keep you all informed of what we're able to do with those funds. But please rest assured, we're actively working to determine how we can best utilize these funds to help residents in our community. And secondarily, I did want to address just very briefly the economic impact that the city is certain to feel as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. I wanted to assure you that we're working very hard as a team to try to get our arms around what the economic impact is going to be. It's an ongoing process. As you're aware, municipal funding is different, and filing deadlines, payment deadlines, that sort of thing make the receipt of funds delayed in many cases. So at this point, we're not necessarily, we can't really speak factually to what the financial impact is going to be. Of course, we have seen a significant drop in income tax revenue, which will no doubt
affect the city. We're also well aware that BGSU is undergoing terrific negative impact associated with the crisis. Of course, negative impact on them trickles down to us. But I did want to let you know that we're working hard to develop a plan. We have taken some actions, and I've asked Lori to speak with you a little bit more in detail during her report this evening about some things that we have done. And with that, I open myself to any questions that you may have.
Are there any
Mr. President?
questions for the mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great news about the potential additional HUD funding. Is that, or I guess that's my first question, is that additional funding or is that a redirection of the CDBG money that we already received?
It's additional funding.
I see. And is one possibility that that could be used for rent for people affected by the pandemic?
That's one possibility that we are discussing, but I cannot speak into specifics about what HUD's position may be on that side of expenditure. One thing that we do know is that if there are other agencies in the city that are federally funded that are providing relief in a certain area, we cannot duplicate those services. So we're attempting to better understand the entire atmosphere in terms of funding availability in the city, different programs, and again, waiting for assistance and guidance from HUD.
Is there a dollar amount yet associated with the additional HUD funding?
I believe it was $182,000. Yeah, $182,000.
And that's terrific. And the CDBG money we already received is locked in, and that cannot be redefined.
That's correct. Yeah, those funds are allocated at the end of a lengthy process. One aspect of that process is a public hearing and a survey. And once we receive that public input and the survey results are returned based on what we're hearing from community, we file a plan with HUD. And once that plan is filed, then we need to file that, or we need to follow that plan in terms of expenditures from BGCD dollars.
Great, thank you.
Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, do you have any idea when to anticipate receiving this money?
I do not.
They didn't give you a by such and such a date.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Municipal Administrator, Ms. Treader.
Good evening. To follow up on what the mayor had mentioned, I do want to commend council for the introduction of your legislation tonight, urging equitable distribution of coronavirus aid to local governments. And we really appreciate council's initiative to get that on tonight's agenda and consider that very important legislation that really could have a very lasting impact on this community if we are successful in getting that. With that being said, as the mayor mentioned, the full financial impact of all of this on the city will not be known for some time. However, we do continue to carefully monitor activity and make best projections, and time will hopefully help us to create a more accurate assessment for you. However, we do know with certainty that there will be negative financial impacts on the city of Bowling Green. And with that in mind, we have begun to take measures in response. These include a hiring freeze, elimination of travel and training, expense reductions, and closer scrutiny of expenditures. We've asked all of our department and division heads to identify cuts of 5 and 10% to the 2020 budget, and we will be reviewing that work as it comes in the next few weeks. And again, we know we are meeting with the Finance Committee on June 1, and we are working towards that goal to share the financial picture with you at that time. That completes my report, subject to your questions.
I'm assuming none of those cuts would be to essential services.
No, at this time, we are looking at what they submit. Just because they're submitting them doesn't mean we're going to be implementing them.
Right.
We asked them each to go through so that they would have a target to be looking at. So we will analyze those once they arrive.
Okay.
But we have no changes in services at this time. We continue to have police and fire who are responding to emergencies. We are still picking up the trash, responding to utilities, keeping water and sewer lines blowing, electricity is on, and stop signs remain up. We have a lot of good things going on, even in tough conditions, and we prioritize the citizen experience as much as possible.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Treader?
Mr. Chair, Lori, how about hiring seasonal employees? Have we not hired any and instead put our current staff to work, or are we hiring?
For the most part, that is correct. We are not hiring many seasonals. Some of them we had under contract. We were not continuing with those that we've reallocated resources. Of course, a lot of it depends. A lot of our seasonals are associated with Parks and Recreation. At this time, we have not made hires. We had conditional offers to a lot of employees getting ready for our summer when this hit, and we let them know that we would be delaying, waiting for guidance to come out. We may, people can seek relief should they need to apply for part-time seasonals, but generally we will not be hiring very many this summer.
Thank you.
Mr. President, no question, just a comment. I want to say that I really like that capital projects page that you announced last meeting. It was went tooling around there, and I'm sure that's going to be very useful for citizens. That's just full of very good information. So thanks for doing that. I know, and Joe, thanks.
Thank you. Pass it on to the staff that developed it.
I'm sure with the weather getting nicer, there are going to be a lot of questions from people with regard to the city pool and other things like that. I'm assuming that whenever it's possible to make a decision on those things, it'll be up on the city webpage, and we'll get that information out to people. Meanwhile, it's just sort of a sit tight situation.
That's correct. We're closely following what the state of Ohio is putting out. They put out a lot of guidance. They're studying a lot of facets. I would suspect this is one of the areas that they are studying, as they know it's important. The governor has signaled that he understands the importance of this on all of our folks here in Ohio, and certainly in Bowling Green. And so we will announce that as soon as that information is known.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Ms. Treader? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So, City Attorney, Mr. Marsh. Are there any questions for Mr. Marsh this evening? Okay. That brings us to council committee reports. Are there any council committee reports?
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
on behalf of the Finance Committee, I'd just like to point out that Lori published and Joe worked on a report on recycling, this recycling briefing paper. Everyone should have received a copy. I just ask everyone to take a look at it and read it between now and well, we're not going to act on it for a while, but what I consider this to be, and they prepared this at my request, it's a baseline report and for the first quarter, and we should receive a similar report for the second quarter in July, and then a third quarter report in October. And by that time, despite the uncertainties that are still probably going to be there, I think we'll have enough information to make an informed decision on what the best route forward is for recycling in our community. For the second quarter report, I'm hoping that we can transition this report to a spreadsheet type report that just allows us to easily look at the Bowling Green Recycling Center, the Republic and landfill, or the MSW pieces of the pie per quarter, and compare 2020 to 2019 in a very easy, direct way, so that we can, again, make an informed decision moving forward as down the road in the late fall, as we're looking at the next year's budget once the city presents it. So anyway, that's what this is. It's a baseline report. It's full of great information. I recommend everyone read it and set it aside, because it will come back up again at the end of the second quarter. That's it.
Okay. Any other council committee reports? Okay. Brings us to the reading of legislation. Kay.
Greg, could I have your piece of?
Oh.
Resolution number 3762 for first reading. Resolution seeking equitable distribution of coronavirus aid to local government.
President.
Oh,
And Mr. Harold.
I think that it would be perhaps prudent to discuss whether or not we wish to expedite this due to the changing nature of the situation.
Agreed. So, while
Mr. President,
yes, go ahead.
I move that we suspend the rules and give Resolution 3762 its second and third reading.
And at
Okay.
that succinct and eloquently stated discussion, I second.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Well, it has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this resolution?
and now that, Mr. President, I think that this is important. This was pretty thoroughly discussed at our last meeting. The mayor addressed many of these issues. He's reached out to legislators. We've talked about it in the context of the Finance Committee as well, but this is important. We need to send a message to our elected officials that the first go at this didn't really work well for us, and that if there's going to be future funding and relief funding, then communities like ours really need to have the opportunity to deal with that directly as opposed to waiting for the state to act. So I think it's an important message.
I agree. I think it's essential. There is so much that we do that is contingent upon monies that are not coming in right now. And if relief is going to be afforded, I think that regardless of the size of the local community, that everyone should have access to that relief.
I certainly agree, Mr. President, and thank you, Greg, for raising this suggestion for council, and thank you, Mr. Marsh, for quickly producing this.
I also agree that this is of utmost importance and certainly agree with expediting its passage tonight.
Okay. Anyone want to add anything else? So it's been properly moved and seconded to give it its second and third reading. So, Kay?
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Leontis,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes,
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
Okay. The rules have been suspended to give Resolution 3762 its second and third reading.
Resolution number 3762 for second and third reading, resolution seeking equitable distribution of coronavirus aid to local governments.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette?
I move to adopt Resolution 3762.
second,
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Kay, could you call the roll?
Leontis? Leontis,
Oh, sorry, yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
yes,
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh.
Yes. So Resolution 3762 is adopted.
Resolution number 3763 for first reading, resolution approving the petitions for renewal and the plan of services to be provided by the Bowling Green Central Business Special Improvement District Incorporated, approving the properties of the municipal corporation in said plan of services, and approving the City of Bowling Green's cooperative cost share. Resolution number 3764 for first reading, resolution declaring the necessity to implement the plan of services adopted by the Bowling Green Central Business and Special Improvement District Incorporated as approved in resolution number 3763, and declaring the necessity to levy a special assessment for the services set forth in said plan upon the lots and lands benefiting under the plan. Legislation for second reading, resolution numbers 3761 for second reading, resolution to approve agreements and authorize the municipal administrator to sign the agreements between the City of Bowling Green and Ohio Logistics Limited to provide incentives available for project development in the Bowling Green Community Reinvestment Area Number 6. Legislation for third reading, ordinance number 8844 for third reading. Ordinance changing the name of Bay Harbor Court East to East Bay Harbor Court and the street name of Bay Harbor Court West to West Bay Harbor Court.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I
I move to adopt ordinance number 8844.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Okay, could you call the roll?
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbach,
Yes.
Leontis.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 8844 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8845 for third reading, ordinance accepting annexation of approximately 40.586 acres of land in Center Township, Wood County, Ohio, from City of Bowling Green petitioner.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt ordinance 8845.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Okay,
Oh, Mr.
Robinette?
President,
yes. Oh, discussion.
thank you. There was a mention in the literature involving this ordinance that the Planning Commission recommended that the city plans to work with the VATEC to improve its property. Is there any plan to continue to engage them?
Yes, this has a companion legislation as well in 8846 that you will have a public hearing on at your next meeting on the 18th. But yes, the Planning Commission did make a recommendation about that. And yes, we do have plans to continue to talk with them about screening activities.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Laurie.
Any other discussion on 8845? Okay, Kay, could you call the roll?
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbach.
Yes.
Leontis,
Yes.
Phipps.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 8845 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8846 for third reading, ordinance establishing interim zoning for approximately 40.586 acres of land at the southwest corner of Carter Road and East Poe Road, recently annexed to the city as petitioned for by the City of Bowling Green of M1 Light Industrial Zoning.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt ordinance 8846.
No, we
No,
need a table.
We need to table it until
we
the
need
next
to-
meeting,
We need to
Thank you.
table it till after the hearing.
until May 18th.
Okay, so I move to table ordinance 8846
Second.
Okay,
You need to state a date.
until the public hearing scheduled for May 18th.
Thank you.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of tabling ordinance 8846 until after the public hearing? Kay, could you call the roll?
Roland,
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbach,
Yes.
Leontis,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 8846 is tabled until after the hearing on May 18th. Is there any other business to come before council this evening? All right, seeing none. I would like to say, and I've done this the past several meetings, with regard to citizens and wearing masks. I'm happy to see that a lot of employees and local businesses have been wearing masks the past couple of weeks. I think part of the problem might be that people don't understand the purpose of wearing masks when you are in a public space and you can't guarantee social distancing. The purpose of wearing the mask isn't to protect you from other people, it is to protect other people from you. So if you are not wearing a mask, it does not make you brave. It makes you inconsiderate of those around you. So as businesses open up and as people begin to circulate in areas of the city that they have not circulated in for the past month, I again would like to stress the importance of wearing masks in situations when you cannot guarantee that you will be 6 feet away from other individuals. It's not a matter of your protection, it's a matter of the protection of others. And I know that all of us would not wish to cause illness on friends or family by failing to wear a mask if that could be avoided. But those are my comments on that. Does anyone have anything else they would like to say this evening?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. President. Those are excellent comments. I've received a few phone calls from people that are seeing gatherings of people over 10. And before May 1st and after. I received one today. And as I've understood the directives from the governor, people were always encouraged to be in gatherings under 10. It was never mandated. But, I hear that people are meeting for larger parties, many of them outside in the second ward. And I would just like to reiterate or ask that people be more considerate in the same way that we're wearing masks to protect each other. We're also trying to demonstrate good social sense to protect each other.
Okay. Any other business or comments? All right. Seeing none, do I have a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.